Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving deep into the absolutely fascinating metaphysics of Dreamweaver. This is a universe where a video game, of all things, called Excalibur AOP2 holds the literal key to saving reality itself. Seriously, it's a world where every single move you make inside the game has real-world consequences, and believe me, the stakes could not be any higher. So let's just kick things off with a pretty wild question. What if a video game could literally save the world? What if logging on wasn't just about escaping reality for a bit, but was an actual mission with cosmic stakes? Imagine your actions in a game could actually heal a broken world. Well, that's the mind-bending idea at the very heart of everything we're talking about today. And this quote from the Nightmare King, it just lays out the entire conflict perfectly. Just try to picture it. A huge central realm that's the source of all good, all positive energy in existence. But then one day, some sinister force finds a way in and starts to poison it, to corrupt that energy at its very source. And now that corruption is bleeding out into countless worlds, basically turning all of creation into a living nightmare.
So, first things first, we really need to wrap our heads around what's truly at stake in this world that's so completely out of balance. Because, look, this isn't just about winning some game. This is about restoring the fundamental order of, well, everything. We're about to see how actions in a virtual world can have very, very real cosmic consequences.
And this right here, this is the heart of the whole thing. Excalibur AOP2. It's way more than just another VR game. It's described as a virtual mirror. What that means is that the progress players, who are called Dream Knights, make inside the game creates actual, tangible, positive changes in the real world. We're talking about restoring nature, building entire cities, almost instantly. Every single quest is a real-world mission.
So how in the world do you fight a poison that's corrupting reality itself? Well, you do it with a strategy called the Serpent's Bite. As you can see, it's a really smart four-step plan. First, you gotta seal the venom. Stop the corruption at the source so it can't spread any further. Step 2, bleed it out. This is all about buying precious time to figure out what to do next. Then you find a cure to actually start diminishing the evil force's influence. And finally, you restore vitality. You pump up the good energy to bring everything back into balance. It's a clear, methodical plan for, saving all of existence. No big deal.
Right, but you can have the best strategy in the world, and it won't matter if you don't understand the fundamental laws of the universe you're fighting in. And that brings us to our next section, the rules of the world. Here, we're going to dig into the really intricate system of elemental balance and affinities that governs everything.
Let's just take the element of fire as an example. You might think, fire is fire, right? Well, not here. It's broken down into 4 major types. You've got crimson fire, which is the fire of life. Think warmth, vitality, all the good stuff. Then there's the blue flame, the catalyst. It's all about agitation, pushing things into a new state. The golden blaze is for refinement, for purification and healing. And then you have the black inferno. That's just pure, raw, unrestrained destruction. You absolutely have to know these differences to master.
And this all ties back to a really crucial concept called elemental affinity. Every single Dream Knight has one. The best way to think about it is like your spiritual DNA. It's this deep inborn connection you have to one of the main elements, and it doesn't just give you cool powers. It actually shapes your personality, your gut instincts, and yeah, even your weaknesses. Okay, and this is where the system gets really deep. Just look at the element of light. It's not one thing. It's split into 2 totally different categories. You have material light, which is what lets you see the physical world. It's predictable, it reflects, it refracts, it follows the rules of physics. But then there's immaterial light. This is what lets you understand the world. It governs abstract things like truth, knowledge, wisdom. It's really the difference between just having sight and having true perception.
Okay, so we've got all this heady cosmic theory about how the elements work, but what does it actually look like when you put it into practice? How do you get good at this stuff? Well, this next section is all about that, mastering the elements, where we'll see characters go through these intense challenges to learn these complex universal laws.
So check this out. Our first example is an archer named Concordia, and she's facing an earth field challenge. There's this super powerful magnetic field that makes her normal steel-tipped arrows totally useless. They just get yanked straight into the ground. So what's the play? She has to think smarter, not harder. She realizes it's a material problem, so she has to switch to non-magnetic arrows, like silver, just to have a shot.
Okay, so she passed that test. But the next one? Even harder. Now she's dealing with a water field. The target's underwater, moving fast in a strong current. It's not just one thing anymore. She has to deal with the arrow's weight, the water resistance slowing it down, and the current pushing it off course. And the solution is incredibly technical. She has to perfectly balance the weight ratio of steel and ivory in her arrows, make them more streamlined, and time her shot to go with the flow of the river. It's a whole new level of skill.
And for the grand finale, the wind field. This is where everything she's learned gets put to the test. She's up against a moving target, and it's protected by this chaotic mess of spinning rocks and wild wind currents. At this point, it's less about physics and more about pure perception. She has to read the patterns in what looks of total chaos just to find that one single perfect moment, that one path for her arrow to fly through completely untouched.
So how in the world does someone even get to that level of mastery? Well, it all comes down to this simple but incredibly powerful three-step process. First, you observe. You watch an expert, someone who's already mastered it. Then, you conceptualize. You build a perfect, flawless mental picture of that action in your own mind. And only then, once that mental image is perfect, can you execute. You translate that thought into physical motion. In this world, true power comes from understanding first.
All right, we've talked about the rules, we've talked about the training. Now, let's talk about the end game, the absolute ultimate expression of power in this universe. This is where all those cosmic laws and all that personal training merge into something truly spectacular.
They're called bloodline limits. And look, this is not just some flashy super move you unlock at a high level. A bloodline limit is the literal inheritance of your family's entire history, their convictions, their ideals, their struggles, their triumphs, all of it, manifested as a powerful, unique ability. It's like the entire weight of your ancestry has been turned into pure strength.
And this quote from Arlene, man, it just hits the nail on the head. Inheriting a bloodline limit isn't just about getting power, it's about accepting a massive responsibility. You are literally carrying the legacy of every single person who came before you, and you have the chance to take that legacy further than any of them could have ever dreamed. It's intensely personal.
But here's the part that's so cool. Your legacy isn't set in stone. These bloodline limits can actually be customized. You can tweak them, augment them. You get to choose what kind of flame it uses or how big and powerful it gets, or you can shift its elemental properties. It means you're not just a passenger inheriting a legacy. You're an active participant shaping what that legacy will become for the future.
And that really brings us to our final thought. I know we've been talking about a fictional universe, but this core idea that your identity, your heritage, your potential can become a source of incredible strength, that's a universal concept. So I'm going to leave you with this question to chew on. If your own history, your family's legacy, if that was your superpower, what would it actually look like? Thanks for tuning in.